versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer.
You asked for it.
I don't think I'm going to keep an Ice Walker against Shaman.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
Hero power that thing over 2 turns, I guess. So he's playing Firefly. I think that's mostly been phased out of Shudderwock, hasn't it? Does look like a Shudderwock deck, though. Crossbolt's a good pickup.
Let the pain speak to me.
Play this guy. He'll beat up the Acolyte for me.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
Play another Yeti. I guess I'll hero power that guy. I might just play Blizzard next turn so I can push 8. Nice, double low roll.
I should eat you.
I don't get to push any damage with the Blizzard. Okay, I'll just play a Water Elemental instead. I don't think I would have been upset to play the Blizzard there, though. Kill 3 of his dudes. Protect my 4/3. It might have still been worth it, honestly. But I think it can come in useful later on.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
Use the Meteor to push. Sure. Kinda questionable. Meteor is a good answer to a Grumble, but I have a 4-mana answer to it, maybe a 2-mana answer.
I will show you fear.
I should eat you.
Let's just drop the Lich King. It's a little bit vulnerable to Volcano or X, but my first thing is always going to get answered. Frostmourne is actually pretty good. For 7 mana over 3 turns, I can do slightly more damage than his Healing Rain heals him for. Alright, let's just protect the Water Elemental instead. Instead of going face, that is.
Pain speak to me.
Polymorph that guy so he can't draw any cards. And we'll Blizzard the taunt out of the way. Consider just going face with the weapon, but summoning a 3/3 off of it's not too bad. I might be willing to just Frostmourne this. Card draw's nice.
I'm ready.
I'll even just throw down a Cindergosa while I'm at it. There's a lot of stats on this board, so a Volcano is not going to cut it. I think this might be a good enough Volcano. But I got a Hex out of it too, and it killed his guy. Alakir.
This curse has become
I'll just go for these two guys. They do a good amount of damage, and the Alakir always gets his 6 in. Alright, so I can revive my shares in here, which is cool. Need 4 for it, so Beetle, Glyph, Ice Walker maybe. Maybe I find something better than the Ice Walker here. That's convenient. I'll just save it to revive my guy next turn. I don't mind getting the Ice Walker in play, I don't think. I've seen a Volcano and the Hagatha, so it's hard for him to deal with this board. I've seen a Lightning Storm as well. But even if he does deal with it, there's a chance I can revive shares in next turn. That's why I held on to the 0 mana Glyph.
I wake once more.
Show me a bunch of low rolls. That's a bummer. His first Lightning Storm sucked, so I guess I had it coming. Definitely not happy to see it, though. Toki double snap freeze primordial glyph is what it's looking like here. Fireball's great. I have what, 14 damage? Probably don't quite want to go for it. Oh, Medivh is really good. I think he's probably going to be a little bit too slow. But if he wasn't, that would be a really good legendary for me to pick up. Although I have played a Meteor and a Blizzard already. So I have 7 in play. Alakir and the Fireballs are 18, that's 25. I can get in 2 hero powers, so not quite good enough. So let's just go for the Medivh line. And I'm going to Fireball his face just to get a 2-drop. I honestly might even hit him with a weapon. Puts him to 16. I guess that's not worth it. If he deals with this board, I can just go Fireball Blizzard next turn to get a 6 and 4. Damn. Okay, that was the second worst one, so that's good for me. And Fireballs. I've got 14. That's actually lethal, isn't it? 7 and 7 is 14. 15, 16. No, that's 28. I do like the Blizzard Fireball line, though, I think. Hopefully I get a good 6-drop here. It's a good 6-drop. I have enough stuff in play that if he plays Shudderwock, I shouldn't die. Or he should die, even. And I also have plenty of stats that Volcano on its own isn't much of a threat. This needs to be pretty miraculous. That's pretty good. Did he not attack? That thing has Rush, right? I know what that card does. I mean, it wouldn't have been good enough here, but he did miss an attack, I think.
No idea what I'm capable of.
Oh god, am I dead? I know. Holy crap. Oh. I didn't even realize I was that low.
Let the hunt begin.
You asked for it.
Wonder if I should just be keeping Water Elemental. My curve is pretty high, so I guess I'll try it.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
Let's just shoot this thing over 2 turns. And then we'll go coin water elemental into water elemental. Pretty good with this spellstone even.
I wonder.
Looks like we're sticking exactly to this water elemental curve.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
Seems about as appealing as it was last turn. Looks like he has kind of a weak turn 5, which is definitely good for me. Probably want something to interact with the Seeping Oozling this turn. Mirror Entity isn't great, but the other 2 suck. Spellbender can eat a play dead, which might be nice. But I think I like Mirror Entity. If he plays Oozling and hits Katharina, I don't think it does anything for me. Pulls a Plated Beetle. But if he hits the Silver Vanguard, I have a couple pretty solid 8s. Alright, or he just doesn't play a minion this turn. That's fine. Play out a large dude of my own, and then maybe this turn is just a straight up Silver Vanguard instead of an Oozling into it.
No walls can hold me.
Oh, he played a Silver Vanguard. Thought he was about to rope out. I don't have a Polymorph, which is kind of a bummer. Where's the Spellstone at? Still need 2 to upgrade, so probably a bit slow. I could shoot this thing with a Cone of Cold. Oh, I guess I can Ice Walker it so he can't break it. But I kind of want to break mine. But I guess if neither of them gets broken, I'm ahead on board, right? Maybe I just freeze it. I could try to play both of these first before the Leyline Manipulator, or I can just play it as a 4/5 this turn. Let's just play stats. No discounts out of the Manipulator, but I can just try to beat him up. I think this might be the first time I've fully upgraded this. This shit looks intense.
Where's my...
Did not want to see Katharina this turn. At least it's just a Grizzly and not a Charger. So I can just play Syndragosa here. But I think I would like to find an answer to this thing. Although I can break my Silver Vanguard. This is 7, and then I can just Fireball it. Or... let's see, it could be Fireball, Cone of Cold, that's 7. Still a bit awkward in the math. I'd have to trade like both of these in. Maybe trading off the Ice Walker's not too bad though if his stuff's all frozen. Get a Lich King out of this trade, which is nice. It ended up being pretty damage inefficient to kill that thing. I wonder if there was a better play I just didn't see. But I got to push, what, 7 damage that turn? I got a Lich King in play. I think I'm still feeling pretty good about my position. I think locking these 2 out was really important that turn. That's kind of a problem. But let's see, if we're just going off damage, I can, what, Blizzard to trade this guy in. I have 13, 14 damage. Not quite good enough, but there are a lot of things I could pick up that would help. Just start with a Glyph, I guess. The Glyph and this both give me 3 chances to find like a Polymorph or a Meteor or something. I think I will just go for this though, because I have a pretty decent Blizzard play. Or I can just find the Meteor. Alright. If I didn't find an answer there, though, I could have just hero-powered this guy. Death Rattle goes off, I Blizzard to freeze everything. Trade the 6-power guy into the Lich King, go face with the other stuff. And then he has a board of frozen garbage, I have a ton of stuff in hand. Seems like it could have worked out. I ended up doing okay with this deck, about a 42% win rate. And I think the main problem with it is pretty obvious. We just don't have a well-defined win condition. playing for value hasn't really been a thing in Hearthstone for quite a while, because most of the Death Knight cards introduced in Knights of the Frozen Throne are just straight up broken, and if you can't compete with those either by playing one of them, or by having Hadronox boards over and over again, it's just hard for your deck to win too many games. But in the games where it did work out, it was pretty fun. Toki and Syndragosa give you plenty of exciting things to play around with. The Ice Walkers actually felt pretty good. They're surprisingly obnoxious for the opponent when they don't have an immediate answer to it, but obviously being a 2-mana 1/3, it's not that difficult to have an immediate answer. And the Snap Freezes surprisingly never really felt like they were stranded in my hand. They weren't that difficult to use. So the cards I built around pretty much did what I was expecting. It's just that the power level isn't quite there against Death Knights and the recruit mechanic. I did end up making a few slight changes to the deck that I think make it a little bit better. One of the problems I was running into is that I was dying too much, so I got a second Plated Beetle and a Shroom Brewer. Unfortunately, without Frostlich Jaina or Arcane Artificer, Mage doesn't have great ways to gain life, but the Beetle and the Shroom Brewer are decent, and sometimes we get an Ice Barrier from the Keysmith. I also included 2 Frostbolts. I wasn't playing it initially because I don't think it's that great with Snap Freeze. Executing something isn't that good when you've already dealt 3 damage to it, but it turns out Frostbolt on its own is just a pretty good card, and the Snap Freeze synergy is just a bonus. I had to end up cutting some things I didn't really want to cut, like a Glyph, a Keysmith, and a Meteor, just to make room for the healing and the Frostbolts. But I think the changes do improve the deck, and I don't think the deck is terrible, but I can't necessarily recommend playing it in this meta.